Alright y'all, I'm about to give you 6 pieces of evidence that ancient events described long ago in countries overseas actually took place here in the United States and North America. Check it out. To agriculture. So supposedly corn was not in the old world before Christopher Columbus discovered it. And it was a genetically engineered GMO by the Aztecs. However, in the Bible throughout you have corn described. One example is Joseph stockpiling corn and saving his brothers in Egypt. But also you have Ahura Mazda in the Assyrian myths, the god who would bring grapes and corn. So clearly there was corn wherever the Bible took place, or they're lying about corn being in the old world. Number 2, the Red Sea was most likely here in America. Don't believe me? Check it out. Here we have America, Septentrionalis, Latin, Mare Vermeo, Red Sea. Up here we have Mare Vermeo, Red Sea. Now, the current modern Red Sea over in Egypt is extremely deep, like 10,000 feet at its deepest point. There's not a whole lot of real shallow areas. So the Exodus is much more likely to have taken place in the true Red Sea that separated California from the mainland. Here's a couple more of the Red Sea just for good measure in case you thought I was playing. The crazy part is the Red Sea still exists today, just a lot smaller. And even crazier, we still call it the Red Sea and we don't even know it. See what I mean? Baja California is separating the waterway there between the two was the Red Sea on all these maps I have. You follow it up and then you can actually follow the system that's still currently there and see where the water was running from just by looking at the terrain. And it looked like it came up there from around the Grand Canyon, right? Now, what body of water still runs down here, right here, and comes out in the Red Sea? What was the Red Sea, right? This river here, right? Now, what river is that comes out? That's the Colorado River. Cool. So, I got on Google to find out more about it and discovered that Colorado actually means red as well. So they still call it the Red River that used to run into the Red Sea. Right in our faces. Now what we call the Red Sea today is extremely deep over there in Egypt. It is like 10,000 feet deep at its deepest point, but it's a lot less likely of a location for the events described in the Exodus to have taken place over there than here in the United States, where the Red Sea had to have been shallow because it already dried up. So, number 3, the Nile River. In the Bible, the Nile is described as having 7 tributaries that lead into it. The Nile River in Africa has 3 tributaries. However, you know what river has 7 tributaries? Mississippi. Check it out. In the Colorado River, or the Red Sea, at one point may have had 7. We don't know because it's not there anymore. All we have is the measly remainder of the Colorado River. But the Red Sea being right there would explain why all the rocks at the Grand Canyon are named after Egyptians, gods and goddesses, like Temple of Osiris, Temple of Iris, Horus, Seth, all the way out. So, and look at how big and how clearly the Red Sea is mapped in this map. Noah's Ark was sourced in the United States. So in the Bible, God gives Noah very precise instructions on how to build his ark. And Noah's instructed to use gopher wood. Now, one problem with gopher wood is that gopher wood grows in one place in the entire realm, Florida. So either he went to Florida to get his gopher wood, or Noah was around Florida. And number 5, Egypt, Persia, and Babylon were all located in America. They wrote it direct over time. Check it out. Okay, so this is a supposed map of the Persian Empire. It looks awfully similar to the coast of Alaska. Then looking at the Mercator's map here, look at this. Pars. Persians. Over where Alaska would be. Alright, and look at this one. Down here you got Mount Sinai. Now I already showed you that Egypt and the Red Sea was in America. Just Sinai. Wait till you see Babylon. It's been right in our face. It would appear Egypt started in the Grand Canyon and went through Central America. Alright, y'all, look at these pictures. This is the World Exposition 1893 Chicago. Now, I want you to look at this plaza, this court here, and the structures, and then I'm going to show you some stuff. Unbelievable. These were supposedly paper mache, made to be torn down in 6 months, but they weren't. Now, this is the description of Babylon. Pause to read it. Basically, walled cities with the Temple to Marduk across from the Nebuchadnezzar golden idol there. But that's the Chicago Fair. Here you got King Nebuchadnezzar built a massive idol of gold. He was mad when they wouldn't bow down to the idol, listening to music through boys, and basically he chucks them into a burning fiery furnace. I want you to look at this statue again, idol, and it is a whopping 100 feet tall, 35-foot base, 65-foot statue. But look at this, when a hatchway in the crown of the head of the hollow bottom are opened, it turned into a chimney. Go back and pause to read that if you need to. So basically you've got a 40,000 square foot hollow chimney in the bottom, or fiery furnace. And look at the bridge right there. I'm going to show you something for scale. These are some 1870s or something videos. Now this is the city of Babylon, recreation, with all the stuff listed here, and the gates. Now if you look here across this plaza, it appears to me there are some kind of separating walls or dividers between the city, and that's exactly what they wrote about Babylon. There's another picture, a little bit clearer this time. Here's 1860 Chicago. First of all, notice the walls separating the city into different units, different parts, just as described in Babylon. Then look at the pillars on this bridge I showed you from earlier. Look how small they are for scale. So these lines are statues in Chicago today, and they are in front of the Arts and Science building, I think it is, which is one of the only remaining buildings from the World Expo. Here it is, just an incredible building, and from the air, so you get a better angle. And these are the Cahokia Mounds nearby that are ruins left by the ancient natives, so we can agree on that. And here's where they burned everything down in 1871, 1893, etc. Number 6, the Tower Hill. Might not be where you think it is, and it's not a ziggurat. Now let me show you Louis Babel Ecological Reserve over in Montreal, Canada. Here it is. Its highest peak is Mount Babel, and the Book of Jasher tells us that the foundation of the Tower of Babel was a 3-day walk around. And when you measure this foundation, or whatever you want to call it, the asteroid crater that fell, looked like a donut, I guess, because it didn't leave anything in the middle. But if you measure it, it's 115 miles around. Now, walking 2.5 miles an hour, sleeping 16 hours for both nights on the trip, and then having 2 hours to eat and rest every day, that gives you exactly what the Book of Jasher records about the foundation. 72 hours, like down to exactly. So, I mean, that's a hell of a coincidence, and I don't know how the asteroid fell, and it was hollow in the middle like a donut. Smoke around it, but it looks like a lot of the ancient events described took place in actually a straight tragedy, and that almost everybody is being appropriated, probably by the same group of people. Look into it, check old maps and stuff around, you might find something, but what do y'all think?